Yeah. So we did. Yeah. Yeah.
Boxing talk, baby. All right, we're gonna make
Boxing
this thing
talk.
happen.
Yeah.
You see,
That's right.
I'm gonna monitor
I'm
the group
gonna
as
do it.
well. I'm gonna monitor the group as well.
All right. I'm trying to do my best Sly Stallone impersonation. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Let's talk boxing. Yeah.
That is
What's
funny.
up, Josh?
Adrian.
Yeah, there were some fights. I tried to watch, the British card last night, but the stream was poor, so I only got to see two fights,
Okay.
and then yeah, it kept kicking me out.
Okay.
I did watch Savage Allen, of course, his fight.
Oh yeah, I still need to
That
watch
was
that one.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun fight, even though his opponent was just this guy who was there to be hit, but he did have some good moments, even that guy, but he took so many shots, that guy Bennett.
This you call a
So
jag, just the guy. You know what I'm saying? Just the guy.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was the first time I think that he went 5 rounds, I believe, Allen. I don't think he ever went so far before.
Okay.
So
Wow, that's good to
yeah, it
know.
was a corner stoppage. That guy really took so many punches. He was very tough. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and yeah,
Good.
and then I also watched Fabio Wardley, but what happened just at the time that he knocked out that guy Nick Webb, that my stream froze, so I didn't get to see the knockout itself. So that was really, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. But that was one I was looking forward to checking out in addition to the Babic one. So, we actually went live yesterday. I had started the process, or at least I had started out watching it as well, trying to watch it on my phone after we had finished up. Once I got to another
Mm,
area, because I had to drive somewhere, and basically I was able to catch one fight. I can't even recall what it was, but it was there in the beginning. One, maybe two of them actually. But I wasn't able to catch this stuff right around the time that Babic and company were getting ready to come out there. So I'm definitely gonna go back check that one out for sure.
mm. Yeah, I mean, one thing that is a little bit worrying is he did, in the second round, he did get hit quite a lot, so he needs to work on his defense. But
Uh,
maybe he was too, like, no, this guy can't hurt me, so he was a little too cocky, maybe it's that's the
okay.
reason. I think he would be more cautious against, one of the better guys for sure, I think.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, we would have to
Yeah.
think so. I wonder what that actual sort of step up fight would be, just thinking about it from an overall
Yeah.
perspective, because of the fact that he, of course, is a small heavyweight. Right now, he's fighting a bunch of no hopers in some sense. And
Yeah.
when he's ready to step it up, or when they feel that time, it's that time, Eddie and Toe, of course,
Mm.
then I just wonder who that step up fight would be as far as the mix or crops of heavyweights that are out there. Now, thinking off
Yeah.
top, and just kind of doing a comparison with some of the other younger guys who've had those step up fights, maybe a guy like, I want to say his name is Bogdan Danu, but would that be a bit too much for him as far as a stepped up fight? The new, I think, is the guy who, if I'm not mistaken,
Oh yeah.
who Du Bois
The
just had.
Romanian. Yeah.
Du Bois just fought him in his sort of comeback fight from his little eye situation, right? I think that's him. Someone like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that Babic would be ready for someone like that, who is sort of one of
Very
those
big.
tester guys? But yes, but he is big. He
Yeah.
is big enough to
Yeah.
be sort of barometer in comparison to the other top guys. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, Dinu has had a few really, bad losses late in his last few fights.
Mm-hmm.
He was even, I believe, knocked out by Puleva, I think, in one of the later rounds. But anyway,
Yeah.
but he's still, as you said, a very big guy. And Allen is hardly, a really devastating puncher. He's more like an accumulation puncher, I would say.
Yeah.
So
So yeah,
yeah,
Bogdan Danu,
definitely.
he's 6'5". So yeah,
Yeah,
I think let me see, did he take on, there's another guy who I know took
yeah,
on a
just
Jogba as well, but this isn't him. So okay, so yeah, that may be too much of a step up, but it would definitely be a good sort of test in terms of
yeah,
whether he can handle a guy of that size. I need to look at a
yeah,
Jogba. I'm gonna look up
yeah.
let me
He's
see
a
a
little bit
Jogba.
too big, too dangerous, maybe. Yeah, I mean that's about the limit, I would say, of how big his opponent should be for Allen. So I don't think he should take on those guys who are 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
makes you wonder. Oh yeah, and shout out to
yeah,
Nick who joined in. Nick Slack or Slack. I could be getting it wrong, but I like the last name. But Nick over at Die Hard Boxing Fans, that group. It's a cool group. It's not just boxing though. It's some other stuff as well, some
yeah,
wrestling stuff if you're a fan of that. So appreciate you joining in, Nick. But I just looked up this other guy. So if Efe Ajagba fought this guy, his name is Razvan Kojanu. I think that would be a good test.
yeah.
He's
He's
17 and
even
7.
bigger,
Yeah, he's bigger. He's Romanian as
six
well.
seven, right?
Yeah, 6'7" and a
Yeah,
half, 81-inch reach. Wow. So I think he would be a good sort of step up test for Babic to let us know if Babic can
yeah,
even be considered a serious player at heavyweight. Because that's the type and size of a guy he's gonna have to face if he actually has intent on trying to win a title, which would be a long shot at his size anyway.
yeah. Definitely. I think right now he may want to fight someone like the guy that got knocked out by Wardley, Nick Webb. I think there
Mm.
was some talk about that, and they met before those fights. And he was like, "Oh, Nick Webb, don't come here, don't run from me." That
Okay.
kind of, he was doing his banter or trash talk, whatever you call it.
Okay, yeah, I see Nick Webb
So
here. He's 17 and 3, 6'5". Yeah, so
yeah,
he has the size. Oh yeah,
he's not so, he started off well actually against Worley, but the problem is Worley is a lot faster, a lot more athletic, and this guy
yeah,
is more like a big lumbering guy who wins on strength, and power. So yeah,
yeah. So yeah,
I
that would be I guess an interesting one to see. I see Worley got him out of there in one round. Oh, another name I see that Worley lost to, which may be, yeah, I'm gonna say he's probably too much for him. But David Allen, for instance, I like David Allen.
yeah,
I wonder how
yeah,
Babic would
that
do
was
with someone
also
like that. If he were to beat someone like David Allen, who, isn't going to beat the top guys, but who is always going to be a player in there with
yeah.
whomever, then I think that would say a
He's
lot.
got he's got plenty of heart for sure, and he can punch. He proved that, when he knocked out Lucas Brown.
Yeah.
But he's slower. I think Allen will have a speed advantage anyway,
Okay.
over him. I think,
Which
yeah.
Allen? Allen
But
Babic
it would,
or David Allen?
yeah, yeah, Mr. Babic
Okay.
Savage. Yeah,
Gotcha.
because even though, yeah, I mean, but it would be a good test for Allen right now, and Dave Allen is not such a huge guy, so it would be also a rather good.
Yeah, he's
I
6'3",
mean,
75-inch reach.
yeah,
Babic is
yeah. So
that, I think that would be an
6'1".
equitable sort of size
Yeah,
comparison. He's 18 and
yeah,
5,
that's right.
2 draws, tough guy. We already know
Mm.
that. So yeah, if Babic wants to step it up, I want to see him against a guy like that. If he can get a guy like that out of there at his size at heavyweight, then we can see how he just continues to advance from there. Other than that, though, if he wants to continue sort of this style of fight, or kind of in that vein of, and I saw Steve Kim had mentioned something like this, sort of like Butterbean. If it's a 4 rounds of exciting fights, then I think, hey, there's a place for that as well, So we'll see.
Yeah, why not? I'm not.
I think I lost you sound-wise there, Slaven. But welcome Darren Dobson as well. Darren's a great boxing mind. He's over in UK as well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And great boxing mind, especially on the historical stuff in the ungloved era. He has that boxing group. And yeah, a lot of knowledgeable stuff coming from Darren. So thanks for even tuning in here for however long. But yeah, Slaven. But yeah, as far as whenever Babic is fighting Savage Babic, hey, sign me up. I just think he's an exciting guy to watch, just regardless of how things play out. You know? And I think that as we've discussed, we may, as far as title concerns or title contention is concerned, maybe if he goes down to cruiserweight, then that is an area where we can maybe look at title contention more seriously with him.
Yeah, that's right. I think so too. Yeah. I'm also kind of excited to see that other Croatian heavyweight who is not Hrgovic, but that guy Milas, because he signed with Warren, but he still hasn't had a fight, and nothing has been scheduled either. So as far as I can see. So
this is the guy that is coming up, right?
Yeah, so he has been inactive for 2 years. So I hope he gets a fight soon, because he needs that really badly. Yeah, he's the guy who stopped Kevin Johnson.
The
Kingpin. So
Kingpin Johnson. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, Petar Milas. Petar Milas.
Yeah, Petar Milas. Yeah. So it's the same as Peter, basically. Yeah, Petar.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, he's 15-0.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a very good talent. I mean, yeah, that's right. See, he's, I think.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off with Dennis Botov. I know he recently fought this other guy who's coming up. I can't remember where he's from, but this big, tall heavyweight who's about 6'7". This Botov, this Russian guy who's well traveled, or if I'm not mistaken, he's well traveled and he was just recently knocked out. I can't remember this guy's name though for some reason. This big heavyweight who's out of somewhere in Europe. But I think he looks to have a lot of good associated with. Oh, you know what?
It's not that guy. Yeah, I don't think it's that guy Dichko. He's from he's 6'9". Ivan Dichko. He's like.
But you know what? Looking here at Petar Milas, it looks like, and I don't know if this is legit or what, but it looks like he's penciled in to take on Tony Yoka on September 10th.
Oh wow!
Which would be, of course, if you're looking to have him really up in there.
Oh, I didn't see that, but I hadn't checked his page for a while. So
yeah, I don't see it here on BoxRec. I don't. Not that that necessarily means it's not happening or is going to happen. Let me see.
Yeah, it's a really big fight for him. I don't know why they wrote him up so fast. I mean, he didn't fight for a while, so I don't know if that's so clever, but
I'm gonna look into this to see if this is actually something that is legitimately being considered.
Yeah, because he's with Frank Warren now. That's why he got that fight.
All right. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. I like what Tony Yoka has to offer. He has the size and length as well. Athletic guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like there are a couple of sites reporting it. Yeah, so I think this is actually going to happen. For all intents and purposes,
yeah,
Boxing 24/7 is reporting it. Bad left hook. Yeah, a lot of boxing scene. Yeah, a lot of them. So I guess it's
mm,
going to happen. He's coming back.
yeah,
That is a lot for having not fought since October of
yeah,
2019. Yeah, because Yoka has
yeah.
fought. You
It's
know, he's been active.
amazing. I don't believe that they didn't even give him one fight. I mean, one tune up. That's pretty. But I guess they are very. They must be very confident of his abilities. Then, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Cause Yoka's fought 3 times since that guy would have last fought in October of 2019. So Yoka fought twice in 2020, and he fought here in March. So that is going to be
Mm,
interesting, I would say.
yeah, but didn't he have one fight where he like didn't get the knockout? I think recently, or was it someone else?
No, yeah,
Because
Yoka, yeah, he took on Christian Hammer, the
yeah, that's right. So he didn't really impress in that fight, I guess. Even though Hammer is kind of tough guy, but
yeah,
he has
been around a while.
yeah, but he's rather small. Maybe that's why. Maybe he was more mobile, too hard to hit for Yoka. I don't know.
Okay.
He's 6'2", I think. Hammer, yeah.
Yeah. You know, yeah, I was looking at his thing. Yeah, so he's Romanian because I was associating with him with Germany, but it looks like he does have German ties as well. Um,
Yeah, he's original. Yeah, I think he's like that German
yeah.
Romanian,
Okay.
something with German roots. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Cool. All right. So yeah, so
mm,
that's a big one, I would say. Um,
big one, the biggie.
Hey, Darren actually mentioned something in the comments. Let me see this here. It says it's mad to think that heavyweights who are around 6'3" and weigh 220 2030 or to 230 are considered too small in today's division of giants. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it is pretty that is pretty crazy
it's
thinking about it.
it's a trip. Yeah,
Yeah, it is
yeah,
crazy
yes,
thinking about that. Yeah, Darren, we're right there with you. That's something we discussed as well. Like a guy like Usyk, who seems to have packed on the type of muscle and poundage needed in a appropriate manner,
yeah,
moving up to heavyweight. But we still consider him small when you compare him to Joshua or Fury, which is insane to think about it.
yeah. But I guess if I could choose, I'd rather be like that, 6'3" or something, and not like this huge guy who has yeah, who is not so fast and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. And I see also, Darren, you mentioned, yeah, you don't see Babic doing a lot in the heavyweight division, at least. And very
yeah.
decent heavyweight beats
Well,
him. Yeah, I think,
I don't, I don't either. Well, to be completely honest, I don't see him really getting far. Out there like winning a world title or something.
yeah,
Maybe he gets to fight for one day. I don't know, but
yeah.
to see him as a world champion is like a little bit far fetched. He started with boxing quite late. In life
Hmm.
also. I believe he was like he was over 20 or something when he started boxing as an amateur.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
I
yeah, that is
yeah
definitely late in the boxing world, especially
yeah
over the last uh, several decades or last 50 years, I would
yeah. I
say.
think he
More.
like trained maybe karate or something before. I'm not sure what some other kind of martial art. So
Yeah,
but
and also, yeah, since we're kind of mentioning him again, just even the sort of path to get to a heavyweight title with them only being in the hands of Fury and Joshua is a pretty
yeah
tough pass. That's tough sledding right there, especially being undersized. Yeah, there's too
Yeah,
many guys that are very much dangerous and would surely,
and
and knock
especially
him out for the
yeah,
most part.
yeah, and especially Fury with his chin and all that. His recuperative powers.
Yeah,
And because Joshua has been stopped already, so you know that he can be stopped, but we don't know that for Fury,
yeah,
because he has been, almost stopped, but he made it.
yeah.
He made it
You're
out.
right. And plus, he was in there with Vladimir Klitschko, even though the fight wasn't very good. But still,
Oh yeah,
he wasn't able to really hurt Fury in any way, if I recall correctly.
no, no,
And so
yeah,
that's
I
tough.
know. He, yeah, that's true. I mean, he tried. I think in the last 3 rounds or something, but he didn't come close to really hurting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one interesting fact though, while we are, you have heard of maybe Crow Cup if
Oh
you
yeah,
follow.
Markel Crocop. Crocop. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like Markel.
the the guy that trains Babic, he also used to train Crow Cup actually,
Oh, cool.
because he used to box before, Crow Cup. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay, so he had sort of a mixed background of boxing as well as kickboxing, because I know he was pretty
yeah,
deadly
yeah,
in
yeah.
kickboxing. Crocop that is.
Oh yeah, I think. I mean, I personally think he should have stayed in kickboxing, but he
Yeah.
says that it was just
The
a little too little money, too little
Oh yeah, that's what I was
competition. I
gonna.
don't know.
That's what I was thinking right there. Probably the money aspect of it because
The money.
it doesn't get that same type of viewership in play as boxing and MMA for sure. So yeah, I think that's a sort of
Yeah,
huge driver. Even though it's pretty exciting,
yeah. I mean,
it is pretty exciting. When I
yeah,
have watched it, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, you cannot deny there are some fighters out there who are worth watching. And maybe some have also been boxers before.
Yeah,
Many have been kickboxers, but
yeah. I think it can be.
yeah, usually, yeah, yeah. Usually boxers haven't really done that well in UFC. Ex boxers like Tony, well,
Oh yeah, yeah,
those guys are France Bota, and all those guys.
yeah. I was gonna say.
But
I think yeah, you can kind of lump kickboxing, even though it's more bigger globally, in that same sort of viewership category as this new bare knuckle boxing club or bare knuckle fight club. You know what I'm saying? I don't
yeah,
know if you've seen any of that. I've seen like a couple of things, not like watching it an event in its entirety, but it's one of those things,
yeah,
kind of almost a novelty act in my opinion.
yeah. He says Ray Mercer did okay. Yeah, but he also got a few beatings, so
Oh yeah,
merciless.
yeah. He knocked out Tim Silva. I mean, who was a
Yeah,
former UFC heavyweight champion,
Team Silva. Yeah, that's
and he
right.
was like 6'8", if I'm not mistaken. But he was.
Wow.
I know that he was not in tip top shape in that fight with
Mm.
Mercer. But that being said, Mercer, of course, was an older guy and not in top shape
Yeah,
either.
but he's so tough. Yeah, he's a very tough guy, tough cookie.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is. He is. But yeah, I do recall that, and it was a kind of one of those little brutal boxing style one punch knockouts as well. Took him out.
yeah. In in MMA, the wrestlers are always at an advantage because they pin you down, it's over. So
Oh yeah,
unless you should land the big punch that will knock them out. If you can't, it's over most often. That's unless you have learned how to grapple and all that stuff.
yeah. I'm with you 100%. And I see Darren mentioned yeah, he's not a fan of the modern bare knuckle boxing. Um, either. Yeah, I'm with you
Mm.
there, Darren, especially considering a guy like yourself who knows the history of, the real deal stuff from back in the day and all of that. And when I
Mm.
have seen the bare knuckle boxing, or this new version of it, yeah, it's just different, and the athletes, while
Yeah.
they have some boxers, like I watched Chop Chop Corley against this guy, and this guy beat Chop Chop Corley. Of course, Corley probably should have been retired a long time ago, but of course he can do what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? It's his thing. But yeah, it's just a different style of fighting, and just him, Chop Chop Corley, who of course has all the experience in the world in regular boxing, under Marcus of
Yeah.
Queensberry rules. He really couldn't do much with this guy, and I think it's just because
Yeah.
of some of the rules with the inside fighting and all that stuff. And it
Mhm.
isn't even to the degree as it was in like those older times and that stuff that like Darren, for instance, you usually speak on taking it back to the ungloved area, talking 1700s and that type stuff. It isn't even on that level, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, speaking of bare knuckle, we have uh, I mean, in the boxing hell, we have that guy who was the undefeated champion as a member, actually, from Ireland. A guy from Ireland who
Is
is
that
called
the
James
long
Quinn.
hair?
James, no,
Not
he's
that guy.
bald.
Okay, okay, the ball guy. Oh yeah, I remember you
No,
mentioned him before.
yeah, James Quinn McDonough. He's like over 50 years now old. But for a while, he was in talks to fight Ken Shamrock,
Oh
but
yeah,
that didn't happen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ken
because
should stay away
yeah,
right now. He's taking enough damage.
yeah, yeah, definitely. He's fought so long and had so many tough fights. Of course. Well, now this turned into an MMA talk. So, son.
But Darren, I see, he says, I think some of the older heavyweights, such as James J. Jeffries and John L. Sullivan, would do well in MMA as they were very effective in grappling techniques. Yeah, I agree as well, and you were allowed to do it a bit more then as well. I was I was actually chatting in this group for this upcoming boxing game, Esports Boxing Club, because I'm into the boxing video game. And yeah, some guys are mentioning some of the old school fighters because there was a reference to having Sam Langford in there, and they were saying, looking at some of
Yeah.
the old school fighters, all they did was hold and all of that stuff. And I think that when you go back to some of
Yeah.
those earlier times, of course, we were transitioning from the London Prize fighting rules, and then just bare knuckle in general. You saw evolution in some sense, and also we've continually seen the officiating grow as well because there's a lot of bad officiating as well,
Mm.
and a lot of that stuff is allowed. And one thing I mentioned was that
Yeah.
it's the same as today. If a fighter is getting beat up and he's allowed to hold, he's going to certainly hold if the referee is or official is going to allow him to do so. So I think that's one of the
Yeah,
main reasons
definitely.
behind it right there too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, there have been more than enough holders so far in those sports. Yeah.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well.
it is interesting thinking about it.
Mm. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
But
Any. Yeah.
I was gonna say, but thinking also about the world of the heavyweights, I know we're getting closer and closer to Fury Wilder 3, which I'm certainly interested in, which we've
So that's
discussed.
gonna happen. After all, I thought it was off. No.
Well, sort of postponed. I guess we're getting closer to it there,
Oh yeah.
October. But in the meantime, I guess the biggest news was of course, Usyk Joshua becoming official, and I saw it sold out in less
Yeah.
than 24 hours too, which is amazing.
Like in a month, like in
Yeah,
September.
it's coming soon. It's coming soon,
Yeah.
and clearly,
Wow.
both of course have been in the gym, and Usyk, even though he's been waiting for that title shot, you can clearly see he's been in the gym. So I'll be interested in seeing how he
Mm.
looks coming out because he looks a lot better in terms of. It just seems he's filled out very well heading into this fight. So I'm going to be interested in seeing how he does and how he handles the size of Joshua by comparison to that Chisora
Yeah.
fight, for instance.
He's a very disciplined guy, and
Yeah.
so training is no problem for him. That's always a good thing, of course. I don't know really. The problem, of course, is that he really is not a puncher at this
Yeah.
division, especially. And even as a cruiserweight, he wasn't one of the hardest punchers either, I would say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You're true there. That's something I thought about as well.
yeah. So that was, he would like, I mean, most often he did knock out Tony Bellew, but
Yeah.
that was,
I know
yeah.
Bellew was just kind of coming back and 1 foot out the
Yeah.
door. Even though I think that
Yeah.
Usyk would have beat him
So,
at any point in Bellew's career.
yeah. And sometimes, some fighter just happens to land the right punch at the right
That
time
was
and
a
he
nice
knocks the
one.
guy out. Yeah. So it does happen. It doesn't mean that he is a guy who usually does that, with one punch. He doesn't, of course, Usyk. So yeah, but of course it will be a really interesting fight. I believe. I hope it will be a good one, and it will be interesting to see how well Joshua deals with that movement and the boxing ability of Usyk, and yeah, and of course how Usyk deals with the Joshua's power and size and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm in agreement there. And let's see, Darren mentioned the lack of power will be a problem for Usyk
Mm.
against Joshua. Yeah, I think so as well. Darren, there. It's just because even though that situation with Joshua getting knocked out by Ruiz and everything, I think it wasn't just as straightforward
Mm.
as a typical knockout. I think
Yeah.
Joshua got a little bit excited, especially after he dropped Ruiz with a hell of a shot and
Yeah.
let his guard down a little too much trying to go in for the kill. But he's shown that he can box and all of that stuff. So outside of that,
Yeah.
it's really been big guys that have hurt Joshua, and of course
Mm.
not like Usyk is
Dillian White.
small. It's not like Usyk is
Yeah.
small when I say big guys,
Yeah,
but
but he's
you
not.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's not someone like, for instance, yeah, Dillian White or who
Or
else? I
Vlad.
don't know. Some of these other, yeah, or Wilder or someone like that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think that
Fury.
that will be a factor for Usyk. Definitely seeing how that power translates because
Yeah,
he was able to get some good shots landed on Chisora, but hey, Chisora, he was
Chisora.
more gassed than I would say hurt when you boiled it
Yeah,
down.
but he does have a good chin after all. But I agree. I mean, it's not like he's gonna stop Joshua unless there should be some kind of maybe injury or I don't know. Yeah,
And by
some
yeah,
that stuff.
and by that same token, I am also interested in seeing how Joshua boxes him, whether we see, the more cautious,
Yeah,
stay on the outside using his length and that type stuff, or if we see a Joshua who, if he does see an opportunity, kind of goes in, charges, and lets his guard down a little
yeah,
bit, which makes for exciting moments, and he has many exciting moments in his short career, I would say. So it'll be interesting to see how he does this with Usyk, who he knows is a guy coming up from cruiserweight. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, definitely. One of the reasons why Ruiz could beat him is that he really lets go. He's such a frenzy fighter, and he has such fast hands. And Usyk doesn't have any of that. I would say he's not that kind of guy.
Yeah,
He's more like a composed fighter. I mean,
very.
very methodical, and all that.
Yeah, he very much
So
is that
yeah,
tactician in some sense. Very very
yeah,
skilled.
very,
And
very.
and Yeah, you're right. He
Yeah,
has a lot of subtle movements. So
yeah,
it is pretty it is
and
interesting.
he also can take a very good punch. So if I don't know if Joshua will be able to stop him. So in that, if he could, I mean, he must really let go. I mean, let his hands go and stuff like that. Really take some risks maybe, and
Yeah, definitely. And
yeah,
we may get that. Darren mentioned he thinks Joshua will fight on the foot against Usyk because of his size and power factors. And
yeah,
yeah, that could definitely very well be the case right there, because
mm,
yeah, Joshua, yeah, at this point, he's been in with some of the biggest guys that are out there, and
mm,
some big punchers at heavyweight, and yeah,
yeah,
maybe he we don't know at this point, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he thinks of Usyk, and I think we'll learn that for sure, depending on how he starts out this fight.
yeah, yeah. I mean, on the other hand, I don't know if Usyk should suffer some kind of bad knockout or some, I don't know, get a beating. I don't know. That might even I mean, lead to an early retirement. But he's also, how old is he now? He's like 33, 4.
Yeah,
Usyk, I believe. So he's not so young anyway anymore.
yeah,
So
yeah. And the one thing I guess I keep mentioning that I think is on his side in some sense is the fact that it does look like he didn't rush into it, and he has gone about it in a
yeah,
very calculated manner in terms of getting his body to this heavyweight level, as opposed to Michael Hunter, for instance, who I think is very good as well. But when I see his body, I just think he just kind of went to heavyweight. I don't know if he's put in that type of time. You know what I'm saying? And he went to
yeah.
heavyweight
He's
to not really, I guess, have to go through that grueling weight cut, I guess you can say, to get down to cruiserweight.
yeah. Yeah, of course, that can affect your speed and movement and everything. Of course, gaining so much muscle and muscle weight and yeah.
Yeah,
So he doesn't want that. Usyk, he doesn't want to lose that advantage, I believe, over Joshua. So because he doesn't have many other advantages,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I see what you're saying there, for sure. Yeah, and looking at a few other things that are out there really quick. Of course, we can beat down the heavyweights forever. Of course, that's the glory division for sure. But we do have a few other
Yeah, the glamour.
yeah, the glamour division for sure. We have a few other pretty interesting fights coming up. John Riel Casemiro against Guillermo Rigondeaux, which I think is an excellent
Yeah,
matchup. Rigondeaux, of course, is older, but very much still probably one of the top just skilled boxers in the world.
yeah,
And that's without a doubt. He doesn't really. I'm sure he hasn't lost that sort of the intelligent factor.
yeah,
So it'll be interesting to see how he handles Casemiro, who is someone that's going to come in who can punch and
yeah,
should make Rigondeaux either use
definitely.
his boxing skills or really look to land something to get him out of there, which he has done. He seemed to be more on the offensive side in his last fights here, maybe because of some of the backlash and
Yeah,
stuff stemming from when he fought Lomachenko that time.
yeah, yeah. Casimiro has really scored some impressive knockouts. Last one against Zolani Tete, which I
Zolani
kind of
Tete.
I who is such a freak of nature, so tall for it.
Yeah, he's a
Bantam division,
big bantamweight.
5'9". Yeah, so he's like the size of a good welterweight or
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
basically. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, Casemiro does have that serious power, and he's good enough, I think, to even knock out Rigondeaux. It does depend
Yeah,
how much that guy has left, Mister Jackal
yeah, the
Rigondeaux.
Jackal. Yeah, I'm with you
Yeah,
there. That's the part that I've been thinking about as well. How much does he have left? He's always been a guy that's,
yeah,
he's not one of those guys that has ever come in out of shape or anything. And he's a small
yeah.
guy, so he stays right around his weight. So I'm sure he's not killing
Mm.
himself to make weight like some of these other bigger guys. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he has left, and yeah, what he has
Yeah,
left at this point. And I would say he doesn't have, if you really think about it, he doesn't have a ton of wear and tear in the sense that he hasn't taken any beatings or anything. He's been knocked down maybe twice, Donito Donaire, and
yeah,
then in this other fight against this guy in Japan. I can't remember exactly who he was fighting at the time, but I think those are the only two times
yeah.
he's been knocked down. Now, in
And
one of his last fights, I know
he did get
it's a little
some.
more
He did
offensive.
get some punishment by Lomachenko, but it was just 6 rounds, so
Yeah,
he
yeah,
quit
yeah. That is
after
true.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I do favor Casimiro to win, but I think there may be a chance that Rigondeaux can pull off one last really good performance and maybe even win
One
or
last
get I
hurrah.
don't know, yeah, win or get a draw or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And what?
I don't think it would. Yeah,
Oh, go
it
ahead.
would really set Casimiro's career back if he lost to such a great boxer. But yeah, of
Yeah, I
course
don't think so.
he does hold the title. I think it was. I'm not sure which one it was. IBF maybe,
Yeah.
something like that.
Uh,
Yeah,
what I was gonna say would be the ultimate script flip is say Rigondeaux win if we see him against Nonito Donaire again. Would that be
yeah,
crazy?
yeah. Wow. Yeah, what he did then was really amazing. That fight was such a level of schooling I did not expect.
Yeah,
Really,
he's really able to just take away all of Donaire's
he's
best attributes.
yeah. So he's so fast, and that jab, amazing. Really amazing jab. And yeah, I remember this guy who I knew who was really like how do you say it, a pundit. I don't know.
Yeah.
He told me, and this was like 2010, and he told me, no, Rigondeaux is over the hill, or past his prime now. What already? And he was like, oh yeah,
Oh yeah, I guess just because of the fact that he was starting late, having been in the Olympics for so
yeah,
long, or amateurs
yeah.
for
He
so
was
long.
like 26 or I don't know, something like that,
Thought he was
27.
over the hill. Nah, he's
Yeah,
yeah, one of the best boxers in the world without a doubt. And I'm not talking just
yeah,
simply just a pound for pound, just people who can actually freaking box in a way that
yeah.
many wish they could sort of get that form.
And he has scored some really good knockouts even, but that's because he's that good. He just knows how to land that punch. I mean the timing, everything.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I guess that made it so that made it such a letdown in his fight against Lomachenko because people were clamoring for that because you were just seeing two of
yeah,
the sort of elite level tacticians that historically I think you can even throw it in that mix that were being matched up at that particular time, and it did turn out to
yeah,
be a letdown. But
yeah.
I
One-sided.
guess
Yeah,
some stuff, some aspect of it in terms of the size could be expected in to a certain degree with Rigondeaux coming up and many question him jumping 2 divisions and how that would affect
yeah,
it because he's not big, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's
yeah.
not a big guy,
Definitely,
and I think
definitely.
yeah he was taking a chance. You can applaud him for taking the chance, but of course it was a letdown in terms of how it ultimately played out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I if I have even seen that fight. Maybe I have, but
Yeah,
long ago.
I watched
But
it at the
yeah, I
time. I
think
was trying to go to it. I was
yeah,
trying to get a credential, of course, but they had it in the small theater at Madison Square Garden, and they only gave a select few in the media in terms of the actual,
Yeah,
I guess, legitimate media, like of course, Fox, ESPN, all the big wigs and all that stuff. I wanted to go see this. I knew, and it sold out fairly
oh
quickly.
yeah.
But yeah, it's always like that at times, I guess you can say.
I think that fight was the one where everybody, all those who have earlier doubt or been like down on Lomachenko, it was then, and everybody said, "Yeah, this guy is definitely the shit," or whatever you call it. He's really something. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I got a package delivered here. Of course, they leave it right in the front of the freaking steps where
oh,
anybody can
it's a
get it.
nice weather
Kind of annoying.
outside.
Yeah, not bad for today, you know.
Yeah, here also, but now it's got a little bit clouded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been kind of.
it was supposed to rain, but no, there was no rain at all.
Yeah, we had a good little bit over the past feel like yesterday we had a decent amount, um, which was needed. It's almost feeling
Rain.
drought like here for a period.
Oh yeah,
So I'm always
yeah.
for it. Check this out. You see this?
Wow. The Ace of Spades. Oh, you do magic tricks, card tricks.
I can't
That's
reveal my
cool.
secrets.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm not gonna ask you to.
It's funny though.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah,
Yeah,
we were on Rigondeaux, and yeah, that's a
yeah.
good one. Also, I saw that another good fight. I think Virgil Ortiz is taking on
Oh,
um
yeah.
the name that is, I know it's Aegis is what in Kaviliauskas, I guess you can say.
Oh
I may
yeah,
have
that guy
butchered. I may have butchered.
Egidius.
Yeah,
Egidius.
Kavaliauskas.
Cavaliau
Kavaliauskas.
Cavaliauskas.
Okay,
Or
Kavaliauskas.
I think actually it's like pronounced Cavaliauska, but it doesn't matter.
All right.
It's not so.
And this
Yeah,
the Mean Machine, so we'll stick with the Mean Machine since that seems
mean machine.
ring well. But yeah, so Virgil
Yeah,
Ortiz is. I think this is a very good fight, a very interesting
very.
matchup. And this
Yeah,
is a step up for Virgil Ortiz in the sense that Mean Machine, his only loss has come at the hands of arguably the top boxer in the world, depending on where you rate Crawford in comparison to Canelo and others. So this should be a very interesting test here for Virgil Ortiz, who I think, for all intents and purposes, has looked the part very well and has been able to,
mm.
he's been able to answer all the tests thus far that have been thrown in front of him. So I have no reason to think that he won't come primed and ready for this particular test as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's a very good test. Yeah, for sure. This guy is. Well, he's been in against Crawford, so
And
Kavaliauskas. So
he had a few good
he.
moments in that fight with Crawford too. So you
Yeah,
gotta give him that.
yeah, and he's also a puncher, I would say. So that's it's not a safe fight for Ortiz in
Correct.
any way, but he is the favorite, I would say. It's just not like he is it's like 100-1 favorite or something,
Yeah.
50-1. So anything can happen, of course,
Yeah,
as we know from the past. Yeah,
yeah, without a doubt. And in my assuming yeah, I think that I'll be leaning a little bit towards Virgil Ortiz in this one. I think he's tough. He can box. He can
yeah.
punch, and it looks like his punches actually hurt when they land. From what I've seen
Yeah.
thus far in his career, and I think that the ultimate matchup, or at least one of the ultimate sort of young fighters taking it back to the days when fighters just fought, is a matchup between Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Boots Ennis, if that is able to happen
Oh
at
yeah.
some point. But of course, I'm sure they'll be pulled in the past, and they may want themselves to take on the bigger names at
Mm.
welterweight, considering they likely be able to make their biggest bucks against those bigger names at welterweight, like Spence, Crawford, etc. And maybe even their promoters will think, hey, if we're going to take this risk, we don't want to take it against. We don't want these two
Mm.
young guys who are poised to be major players here for the foreseeable future against each other. But that's one I definitely want to see at some point.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Really, I really like Ortiz. Yeah, and who did he knock out last? It was some pretty good fighter, I think.
Yeah, the one I can remember is the guy who Conor Bean just or maybe that was his last one. As a matter of
For
fact, I have it right here. I'm on BoxRec, looking at the little schedule. So in his last one, he took
yeah.
on Maurice Hooker. That was a good fight.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. So it was a really impressive
Yes,
victory, and he was really, he looked like a future star, definitely.
without a
And
doubt.
he's a very nice guy. Yeah, also I would say he looks like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Ortiz, yeah.
I've seen like some stuff he's like active on social media. Yeah, he just seems to really be a sort of down home, small town. He has that type, small town
Yeah.
kid type of attitude from what I've seen, and the fans
Yeah.
really turn out to support him. He's from Grand Prairie, Texas. So yeah, they seem fans really do like him, and I think he's thus far he's shown to be a pretty nice guy, as you mentioned. And yeah, so Maurice
Yeah.
Hooker, who he took on, and then prior to that, Samuel Vargas. I was thinking about that one because Conor Bean, of course, we blasted through Samuel Vargas in his last matchup as well.
Mm. Vargas, yeah, that's right.
And Vargas is a
Yeah, I
tough
mean
guy,
he's pretty.
and
Yeah.
Ortiz was just basically his shots were just so brutal.
Yeah, it's like that, he's a destroyer, and he's also tall for a division, so
Yeah,
he's I can see him moving up to 154 in the future, of course.
yeah.
Uh,
And yeah, from what I've seen, yeah, he definitely has the frame to definitely put on the extra poundage in a proper manner. Yeah, he's 5'10", so yeah, that could definitely
yeah,
be something.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So, but I hope, of course, he first gets to fight one of the top dogs, of course, either Spence or Crawford or someone like that,
Yeah,
Porter, yeah,
yeah, and well, yeah. Speaking of Porter, I think the WBO, I believe, ordered Porter versus Crawford, so that may happen
but
here.
yeah, right,
That may happen here soon. So
yeah, that's
it'll be an interesting matchup as
very
well.
good. Yeah, very good. I like it, I like it because well, Spence, who knows how that fight will be made? Who knows when? It may take
Yeah,
a while.
that is a question,
But
of course. A good
yeah,
question of when. Yeah.
when both are undefeated, they're both champions, both are very, big names already. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Crawford has been that for a while, but Spence also is now, yeah, a
yeah,
big name.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. Yeah, I still think that is the fight in boxing, Crawford versus Spence. I still think, yeah, outside of
yeah.
Joshua Fury, Joshua Wilder, they each had that same luster.
Mm,
But I still think that the fight in boxing, and I think many will agree with that, is Crawford versus Spence. And
mm.
each day we flip over the calendar is just more and more like, come on, is this gonna actually happen?
Yeah,
Especially considering Spence is probably going to be moving up to 154, and I know that weight cut.
oh
I
yeah,
know that weight cut is definitely probably a challenge for him. So I can see that soon. So
yeah,
if it doesn't happen after this fight,
yeah.
then or say whatever happens, or we don't know who's going to win this fight. We have thoughts on who's going to win between Spence and Pacquiao. But if it isn't, assuming Spence wins,
Yeah,
if it isn't
Pacquiao.
Spence Crawford after Spence Pacquiao, then I don't think it's going to happen. Definitely not at 147 pounds.
Yeah, I've seen Pacquiao train, work out, and he does look, in good shape as always. But I think this time, it may not be enough against Spence. I don't know, but I wouldn't really favor him in this fight now because he's simply not at his peak anymore. Even though he still can fight, but
not only
he should be on. Yeah.
Yeah, not only that, not only is he not at his peak, but he has so many outside interests as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he's been
right.
able to,
Senator.
stand this long, and continue to have that focus with all this that he has going on outside of boxing,
Yeah. And while I was watching, it was a live stream, and
I think that was yesterday, right?
Everybody. Yeah, it was yesterday.
I had clicked on
everyone
it for
from
a few
the
seconds.
I think many were calling him Senator Pacquiao, especially those who were from the Philippines. So
Senator Pacquiao
was like,
getting in the ring. That is interesting hearing it, right?
Yeah, it's really is. I really wonder when he is going to retire because he's gonna be 43 in October, I believe. Yeah. So I know he's like almost a year younger than me, but just a little less than a year. 10 months.
Yeah, I think this could be the swan song, especially depending on how the fight plays out. Hey, this could be a sort of swan song fight, and maybe that's how it was able to be made with the thought and intent that, hey, this is the last probably big money fight I can get at welterweight. Yeah. And of course, the Crawford one never panned out. So, this is pretty much the last one at this particular point. He can generate, I guess, the most from his name in comparison to the opponent that he's taking on. So maybe this is the swan song. And then from there, I think that he can thrive joining that world of exhibition type of novelty fights that we're seeing with Mayweather now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like for money, just show me the money and I'll come.
Yeah. So at this stage, that may be sort of next in the books for Pacquiao, because I know he was already interested in taking on McGregor at one particular period. So why not?
Maybe he's got a chance against McGregor, but not against Khabib. But he's now retired anyway, so.
Oh yeah, but no, I was thinking in a boxing match, not him actually getting in the.
Octagon. Boxing.
not in the octagon.
Yeah, that would be too brutal. Him against McGregor in an MMA match, I think.
Yeah, and I think that the size is pretty bad. Especially for what were they fighting at? Maybe, you know what, I think they were fighting at 155, so I guess it isn't too drastic, but Pacquiao's a huge guy, but it'd be interesting.
Definitely.
And especially with a guy like Khabib, I mean, if he takes you down, even the top MMA guys seemingly can't get up, so
Khabib is a monster, definitely. But now there are, you have Jake Paul and making fights. He's now become almost like a promoter. And,
he's headlining.
I've heard. Yeah, and I have read that Dubois will be making his USA. How do you say it? Debut. Debut. And who else? There was one other from UK, I think, boxer, but I forgot.
I believe, wasn't it Connor Bid gonna make the?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Or maybe not. Maybe not.
Not Ben. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was. But anyway, that was something
You know,
that I was kind of, like, what?
yeah, I could
But
be off on that one on the Conor Ben one, but I know that because Ben, I'm just thinking about him because I know he's supposed to fight recently. Um,
yeah,
which is
I
unfortunate.
really, my mind is blank totally. I can't recall who the other guy is, but because I was really kind of, my attention was on Dubois. How, as I said, Dubois,
Dubois.
the French pronunciation. It is a French name. I don't know how he ended up in England, but anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't Conor Ben for sure because I know that Ben fight was going to be taking place at Fight Camp, which is there in Essex or wherever.
Connor, yeah,
And maybe it was
Connor
someone else
Bennett.
who was with Frank Warren, I guess.
Oh yeah, and yeah, there was one other guy I was kind of wanted to talk about, that guy who you call him Munguia,
Oh,
was it?
Jaime Munguia.
Jaime Munguia.
Yeah.
He's a very, very good
Oh yeah,
fighter.
what's
Yeah,
going on with him? We'll see if anything's
yeah.
in the works or anything of that nature.
I think there was something. There was a fight he was gonna have. Uh,
Yeah, let me see. So yeah, he last was against Serge
one
Meta,
six.
which he handled him well. I thought he looked good in that fight. Of course, Serge Meta isn't a
Yeah.
world beater or anything, but he's a decent boxer.
No. Yeah, that guy from Poland. Yeah.
Well, he's a skilled boxer at least. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think I
Yeah.
like how Munguia is looking so far under
Mm.
El Terrible.
Yeah.
El Terrible. I like how he's looking
Yeah.
so far.
He's Yeah, and he's got the size, he's got the power, he's got pretty much everything. I don't know about defense, but he's really good. I mean, exciting to watch. Yeah.
Indeed. And some will say he
Mm.
hasn't fought anybody yet to really see. But what I
That
can
would
say
be.
is I have noticed from a development perspective, I've seen those gradual changes since he first kind of burst on the scene, you know what I'm saying? Which I think is indication of
Yeah.
good things when you think about it.
Yeah, he had one fight where he didn't look so good, and then everybody was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's not that good."
So yeah,
That's so
Dennis
typical.
Hogan does back in 2019.
Yeah,
So I think he's
that's
grown
the
since
one.
that
Yeah,
fight. You know what I'm saying? I think he's grown since that was April 13th,
yeah.
2019. So he's looked a lot
He
better
looked
since from then to now. You know what I'm saying?
against Spike. Yeah, Spike
Oh yeah,
O'Sullivan. Yeah,
Gary Spike O'Sullivan.
yeah,
That's good. But
yeah.
yeah,
So
I'm interested in seeing what's next for Jaime McGee because I think that
yeah.
he's at this point now that hey, maybe it's one of those true top 10 guys next. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, and another future candidate for Canelo. For he beats Canelo. Everybody, I think many of his fans are saying that he can beat Canelo already.
And then, well,
But
yeah, I think that's hey,
he's still at
fandom,
160. So yeah,
fandom indeed. Yeah, I don't know if he's
yeah,
ready for Canelo yet, but I will say that I think he's a very good young fighter, and I want to. So he's
mm,
at 160. So let me see who I would like to
yeah.
see him against. Just if I could play matchmaker for a day or whatever, just given what he's done thus far, who would I like to see Jaime Munguia?
Dimit Dimitrius Andre.
Yeah, of course, we want to see
uh,
Andre against a lot of people.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. He's a very fun guy, fun to watch. Yeah.
One that I'm looking at here, even though he's older, maybe I would like to see Munguia against Arizlandi Lara. See how he does.
Oh, wow. That would be a really big test, yeah.
Lara is 38
Yeah,
at this
why not?
point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's no longer at his top, definitely,
I'm just
at the
looking at a
peak.
list of the guys out there. If some think that is too much, then let me see.
I still haven't seen that fight with Lara and Castaño. But
Oh
many
yeah,
said that Castaño won that fight, actually.
yeah, it was tough for Lara. You know, Castaño, he has size to him. So that was a
Yeah,
close fight. I do recall it being a close fight. I don't know that I had any definitive sort of approach towards who won either way, but I do know it was a close fight. And Castaño, he's a real dog. That's why I knew that
yeah.
coming into that fight with
I think,
Charlo, he was going to be a major problem. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, I knew he would, but, I've been following him for a while. And, I think he's probably the best Argentinian fighter right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, which says quite a lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You're right. Yeah, I think he is the guy. Depending on how highly you relate the comeback version of Sergio Martinez, he's got to be the guy. You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, just being from where he is, it's not that easy for him to get the decisions always in America.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's a problem.
Yeah, that was
He's
messed up in
never
the
gonna.
last fight, and I thought it was a good fight. Of course, boxing scored, had
Yeah,
to screw things over again, but it was a good fight last time out. And yeah, it's just a shame that ultimately it played out the way it did. But
yeah,
I'm looking here now. Another guy, Jaime Munguia, could take on that may be even better sort of barometer for where he is Masij Sulewski or whatever.
oh
But
yeah,
I think he will be a good play. If Munguia is a
yeah,
serious player, and if his fans think he could beat Canelo, then I want to see him against
yeah.
Sulewski.
Soletsky, he lost to Andre, but I think that was a pretty good fight
Yeah,
still.
it was decent. Yeah, he's only lost to
Yeah,
Andre and Daniel Jacobs. He beat Gabriel Rosado.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that will
He
be a good one.
also he stopped the guy Hugo Centeno Jr., who is pretty good also.
Oh yeah, that
Solid.
is right. Yeah, Centeno Jr. Yeah, I see
Yeah,
that. Centeno Jr. is yeah, he's a pretty decent fighter.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, there are
Yeah.
yeah there are a few potential fights for Munguia.
Yeah,
It just depends, whether his management will want to
so he's Golden
take
Boy,
the.
right? So I
Yeah,
know
yeah, that's right.
Oscar has, at times, thrown some guys in there. He hasn't shied away from letting them fight the top or letting them,
Yeah,
step up. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. And I also think that, Oscar realizes in his team, even if it's not just Oscar, the sort of buying power that Munguia has in Mexico should he be able to just continually do what he's doing against some of these guys and just generating that buzz. And if people are throwing his name out there with Canelo, then of
yeah,
course it's going to look a lot better if he's 41 or 42 and 0, and then set that up. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I mean, he so far looked impressive in most of his fights. So he stopped most of his opponents also. So that kind of shows that he is capable of really achieving something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do think he's
Mm.
capable. Yeah, and it's
Mhm.
just a matter of, yeah, we just need to see him with someone else
Yeah,
before we
there
throw
are.
him in there with Canelo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, there are some very good Mexican fighters. As usual, we have
Yeah.
also that guy, uh, Valdez,
Oh yeah, Oscar Valdez. Yeah,
Mr.
I've always liked Oscar
Oscar.
Valdez. I saw him live
Yeah.
once in Arizona back in 2017 when he took on Genesis Cervania, who is actually going to be fighting
Oh,
here soon. And it was an excellent fight. Valdez actually went down and recovered from that and dropped Sylvania with a hell of a shot. But yeah, he's
Yeah,
a good fighter.
Slovenia. Yeah, I also watched Slovenia live once against the Japanese fighter. That was also one of those fights.
Mm-hmm.
First, he scores a knockdown, and he gets knocked down himself, and it's all back and forth with him always, it
Oh
seems.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
very aggressive fighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and speaking of Mexican fighters, I don't think we talked about it since the last fought, but what about Gilberto Ramirez? What did you think of his fight with Sullivan
Yeah.
Barrera? What did you think of that?
Sullivan Barrera. Actually,
Or I don't know if you caught
yeah.
it. Did you? I don't know if you caught it.
No, actually not. Unfortunately,
Okay,
no.
but yeah, he was
I,
able to beat
I,
Sullivan Barrera. Actually, stopped him to the body midway through.
oh yeah, yeah. I did see that. I mean, I did read about it, but yeah, I don't know where I can. Maybe I can find that fight somewhere. I don't.
Yeah, they might have it on
uh,
YouTube at this point. They may have
Yeah.
it.
Sometimes they show only highlights, or maybe the knockout at least.
Yeah, but
But yeah, he's
yeah, I thought of him
yeah.
because I at that card that where I saw Oscar Valdez against Cervania, it was headlined by Ramirez against Jesse Hart.
Well, he's capable, definitely. I mean, Ramirez, and he's very tall
Yeah, yeah,
for a Mexican.
yeah. He's
Yeah,
a big guy.
yeah, almost 6'3".
Hmm.
So, but he's got really the tool. I mean, he's got the boxing ability and the punch. So as we have seen.
Yeah, he has some
So
tenaciousness to him. But yeah, I was just wondering your thoughts on
yeah,
that because he's a guy who at 175. He said he wants Dimitri Bivol yet, but everybody says they want Dimitri
yeah,
Bivol next at 175. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but of
yeah.
course, we know the
Better
guy
be.
is the boogeyman, as some would say, is Petr Biev, but nobody ever calls him out. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah. That's the problem. That's
saying?
the problem. He is so intimidating, and yeah, has destroyed everyone so far. So yeah, I don't think there will be many. He will be getting many offers from those top fighters.
Yeah,
Maybe I
and
don't.
it's crazy thinking about it because Bivol isn't an easy fight necessarily. You know, he's a excellent
Yeah,
boxer, and he's shown in
yeah.
the past that he can punch when needed. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting.
yeah, definitely. It would be a boxer versus puncher fight, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Cool, cool. What do you think? You trying to ready to
Cool.
wrap this thing up, or any more? You
Yeah, sure. Me, why not? I
uh,
think we've been on for like more than an hour now.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, not sure.
Well, you know, I get you
Yeah,
lose track of time talking about boxing. The last thing
yeah,
I will mention, I did watch event last night.
yeah.
I didn't finish it, but the PBC event and Michael Fox, who was fighting,
Oh,
he's out of this area. He was taking on this guy
the
out of
brother of.
Venezuela or something like that.
Well, yeah,
Gabriel Mastre or whatever. He's 3-0, but he's decorated
yeah,
amateur.
Maestri.
Mastre, yeah, he's
Yeah,
a decorated amateur, and many, myself included, in the boxing world felt Fox won the fight, but the judges really kind of messed him over. You know what I'm saying? And it was a bad
Gate.
black eye type of
Wow,
decision. And
that's very weird. Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't happen a lot, that a guy from, well, I mean, a foreigner gets a decision he didn't deserve. I guess it does happen
this was
occasionally,
for a
but
WBA title. I think it might have been a super title
yeah.
or something like that. And Fox was a replacement. This guy was supposed to take on another guy, and this guy is 3-0. He's a decorated amateur, I guess, from
Wow.
Venezuela. So many think
Oh
there's some
yeah.
corruptive ties to it in terms of how it was handled with the WBA, and it was in Minnesota,
Some kind of.
which
Oh,
isn't a
yeah.
hotbed. So of course, boxing judging just sucks, you know.
Yeah, and I know WBA are based in Panama, so there's a lot of
Yeah,
corruption also there.
Yeah, so this is one of those. So check that out. It was a PBC on Fox, but Stanionis was fighting as
Yeah,
well against Luis Colazo. I didn't watch that one. I was discussing
yeah,
about the prior
and
fight.
that fight ended like a no contest, right? Somebody got hurt, cut. I mean, I think
Oh yeah.
that, yeah, it had to be stopped before. I don't know how many rounds it went, but
Oh
anyway,
okay.
nobody won.
I'm looking at it
In
now.
the end, nobody.
It looks like 4
Yeah,
rounds. So yeah, it ended up being no
yeah,
decision.
yeah. So it had to go at least to 5 because yeah,
Got it.
those are the rules. Mm.
Yeah, I was surprised that, as a matter of fact, just seeing that Colazo was still going at it. You know what I'm saying? Against these young guys.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
It's just even
I don't know why.
he's not. He's well, it says he's 40. I just feel like for some reason it just feels like he's been around for such a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he has actually, but yeah,
It's
he
crazy.
has.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
it is true.
Yeah,
But cool.
yeah,
Cool, man. Hey, I
that's
appreciate
both.
the discussion. And of course, we'll get
Yeah,
back at it again.
anytime,
We'll,
anytime.
we'll discuss again. Let's set up something again. So, in the meantime, definitely have
Yeah,
a good one, man.
yeah, you too.